and we don't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud, shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's for you. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll, let's go. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express.
You're still looking good.
I'm still feeling good. You know, I've got all your MyPillow products. Mattress topper, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets.
I'm interrupting this commercial to do something I've never done before. Get 2 MyPillows absolutely free on orders of $100 or more. I can't do this forever, so get on board with this great sale today. Our best-selling 6-piece bath towel sets or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Our famous standard MyPillows only $14.98. Queens $18.98. King size only $1 more. Body pillows $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale and Giza Dream bed sheet sets. Any size, any color. So go to MyPillow.com or call that number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And when you spend $100 or more, get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free.
That's right, folks. Happy Monday. Absolutely free. Head over to MyPillow.com. Go check them out. America First, a Patriot company made in America, and it's great to have a partnership with them. Not only are you helping out great patriots like Mike Lindell and MyPillow, but you also get to help us out at the same time. Thank you so much for all those who have went over to MyPillow.com and used promo code Oreo. We appreciate you. Well, happy Monday. Thank you all for tuning in. Hope you had a good weekend. There's a lot of things that went on over the weekend. We're going to discuss some of them. We had a lot going on. I had a lot going on. Had to work on the car yesterday. I told you guys the parts were coming in. So I spent 5 hours in the garage working on the car, and that's taken care of. And I'm thankful for that. Well, I'll even show you guys a picture. That's how proud I am. Again, we got a lot to go over today. That's kind of why the show is a little early, so we can still get 2 shows in and not just one long show. But let me jump over into the comments really quick. Sugar Bear is in the house. How are you doing, Sugar Bear? Kate in Texas says yellow. Karen Sunflower, all the way from Kansas, where that yellow brick road is. And then we got B. Norton in the house. Jan Garner, hello. And said B. Norton, and the rest are jumping in right now. So thank you, guys. Again, I was wondering how it was going to work going live an hour earlier. Everybody, we usually go live at 10 o'clock Pacific time. But like I said, we got a lot of stuff, and we will be live at 10 o'clock. So, a lot of stuff went on over the weekend. We had a shooting in a Kentucky church. More details are emerging about who did that. And just some more stuff. They had a group of Democrats who got to tour Alligator Alcatraz, and I was more than disappointed. Not one of them had one of our Oreo Express Alligator Alcatraz t-shirts on. And I thought, wow, that's really a disappointment for me. I'll never support those folks. But we got some comments from them. We also got updated numbers on the weed raid, the weed farm raid from last week. And the numbers are just incredible. Definitely, I think from everything I can find, the largest immigration rate in the state of California. And this goes with all the pushback, all the threats of lawsuit, all the I guess you could say, a decree or an executive order from Mayor Karen Bass. It's not slowing these people down when it comes to immigration enforcement. It's not going to slow these people down. We got a lot to talk about on that, and like I said, we got a couple interviews from Alligator Alcatraz. That was epic. That was epic. And we're gonna get into it all. Let me see who else jumped in here. Rose Court says, hello, everyone. Dale is in the house. Hello, Dale. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. So, yeah, you know what? We got a lot of stuff done here over the weekend. I got to say, last night when I was finally going to bed, it was just a stress relief. When you have those things hanging over, you got to do this, you got to do this. I was worried about the car. It's had some issues for a while. And it was just interesting when I pulled off the right front steering knuckle assembly. We had I knew it was my my wheel bearings, and I had replaced my right front wheel bearing a couple years ago. And when I pulled it off this time, and I thought the reason why it went bad, I thought I bought an Amazon style wheel bearing or whatever, but I looked at it, it had Ford Motor Company on it. But literally, I pulled this thing off and the thing fell apart. All the bearings came out, wasn't even still assembled, and all the grease that was in this thing fell out. It was like charcoal. It was hard as a rock, and I was like, we got all back together. Check this out. Let's see. Let's put this up on the screen here. We put it all back together, and why isn't it pulling up the picture? There we go. And it was epic. It was epic. We took it for a test drive. No noise, ran smooth. I think this will even help out our fuel efficiency because it was putting drag on the engine from one thing I noticed is when I went to a stop sign, I almost didn't stop because I'm not used to applying the brake that hard because it was so much it was so bad. But we replaced both sides, and man, it was good. And I still got time to jump in the pool yesterday afternoon. The pool is perfect temperature right now. I think it was like 106, not yesterday, the day before, 105, 106. Some places around here it got up to 108, and then yesterday it was 103. So but I was glad, man, to have that behind me. We're gonna chase police calls in the next week, promise you that. And then yesterday, I think I might do a premium live tonight because it's not breaking news. It'll be more of an entertainment source. But yesterday, a lot of people were talking. It marked the 1-year anniversary of this epic photo, the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Man, what a difference a year makes, huh? Just absolutely insane. If you guys remember, me and Matt were down, Penny Loafer was down at the border, and we were on our way back from San Diego to LA. We were live cruising down the road, and some of you guys in the chat said, Trump's just been shot. And I look at Matt and I was like, they say the craziest things in the chat. And they're like, well, 2 people. Matt said something like, well, there's multiple people saying it. And I was like, let me pull it up on my other phone. And I pull it up and I look at the video. I was like, oh man, we pulled right over on the side of the freeway. I was like, this is insane. Now there's a lot of questions still, why we don't know anything about Thomas Crooks. You know, it's almost like the deep state's so deep. But a lot of people say this changed the trajectory of Trump's campaign. I don't know. I mean, I think it had a significant impact. Don't get me wrong. You had people like Mark Zuckerberg come out, say it was the most badass thing he ever seen when Trump stood up and said, fight, fight, fight. I think a lot of us that day were, I know we ended up going, we were all maggot out anyways, but we went up going to Seal Beach for lunch that day. And we stopped by Beachin, that Trump store down there. And as we were walking, me and Matt, we walked on the pier and just having conversations with people. That's crazy what happened. And I mean, there was a lot of people that, and in California, I don't know if this is everywhere, but California, I laugh because a lot of people always have their American flag and their Trump hat ready to go. We could go do an impromptu rally right now on the corner of Blackstone and East, and someone's going to reach over and they're going to have their MAGA hat up in the air like that. And that day, there was a lot of folks supporting Trump. I think there was only one triggered person there, and he was kind of like one of those beach bums. But 1 year ago yesterday, they tried, and again, we looked at the video extensively on this show, and man, if he wouldn't have turned his head at that moment, we would have been in some trouble. And again, I think it was Friday we announced that 10, was it 6 or 10 more? I can't remember the number right now. Secret Service officers were suspended. If you remember that whole, I mean, people were yelling at Secret Service. And he's on the roof, he's got a gun. And so that was more than interesting when it comes to in our lifetime. And what was incredible about it is how legacy media, what they call mainstream media, we call the failing legacy media, is how they covered it, and all the fake news. That's what I kind of want to go through tonight if we do a premium stream, is Trump stumbles on stage. Trump falls down on stage. Loud boom startles Trump. Remember all that? I mean, these were your national headlines from CNN, MSNBC. I mean, the man got up bleeding, and it was. I will always say this, and I'll always believe this, no matter who disagrees. But he had a special hedge of protection around him that day, and we don't always understand the reasons, but I think we can grasp some of those reasons. All right, let's get into some of the craziness. So a registered sex offender walks on to a elementary school, attempted to kidnap a child, and the charges are not going to be pursued. Watch this video here. Music killing me, so I'm going to turn off the music there. Take a look at this. So you can see this guy run up, like try to snatch a kid, tackle a kid. He literally ran onto the elementary school to kidnap a child. And once again, because of our crazy laws, let me read this for you. It says, registered sex offender walks free after attempted elementary school kidnapping because he was found incompetent to stand trial. It says the 18th Judicial District Attorney's Office plans to dismiss charges against 33-year-old Solomon Galligan. Galligan was charged with attempted kidnapping after allegedly trying to take an 11-year-old boy during recess at Black Forest Hills Elementary School in April of 2024. Aurora police said Galligan is a registered sex offender. Surveillance video reportedly show him chasing after and grabbing at students as other children ran away. The court-ordered mental competency evaluation found Galligan unfit to stand trial. Prosecutors claim they have no choice but to drop the charges. There is jail time for people, and there's even prisons that are mental prisons for people that are not mentally competent. Because by letting this person out on the street and back near the elementary schools, this will happen again, but next time we probably won't be that lucky. I seen this over the weekend, and I was just like, man, there's a couple crazy things we're going to show you today that I seen over the weekend. I don't know if you all heard about the teddy bear here in California, but it gets It gets crazy. But again, so if you're not mentally competent to stand trial, does that just mean you get to go out and keep reoffending? Or is there a special place, not just in hell for you, but because when you touch a child, when you do anything, I mean, you're a registered sex offender. There's got to be something these people can do. I just thought that was just insane. Now we hear a lot about Chicago, sanctuary city. The mayor saying he's going to fight ICE and all this other stuff. And then you hear Democrats talk about Donald Trump's cuts, how it's going to kill our schools. Oh, if they get rid of the Department of Education, they're going to have to lay people off. Children aren't going to get this education, which is, I would say, lack thereof education in this current system we have. I mean, we have failed our students. And we keep hearing about that. But you know what we don't keep hearing about is the truth. Listen to this. This is insane. I thought when I seen this, I was like, I told you all it would just be less than months before we start hearing about it.
Schools just announced it's laying off more than 1,400 school-based employees. This includes 432 teachers and 677 special ed classroom assistants. CPS says this is part of its annual workforce planning and budgeting process. Historically, the district says more than 80% of impacted employees have secured new positions within CPS prior to the start of the school year. It's not known if the current $734 million budget deficit will impact that rehiring process.
Sad. This is Chicago, guys. No surprise there. Chicago's 1,458 employees, 432 teachers. But here's the one the Democrats love, right? The kid that has a learning disability, or they like to put out there, like the people in wheelchairs whenever they're talking about healthcare. 677 special education classroom assistants. Now, why do they have such a big budget shortfall? Could it be because all the money they spent on illegals with hotels? We took you to Chicago a couple times. Remember in Chicago, they have they were welcoming. They don't want ICE there. They want to put, just like LA, they want to put illegal aliens above not only their citizens, but on top of their citizens, what? Their students. Education's so important. We've seen Maxine Waters all outside of the Department of Education. This is going to affect special education, the kids that need it most. Wasn't the truth, but not one of them are crying about this. And this is the hypocrisy, guys. This is the hypocrisy we see. $734 million budget deficit. This comes after Trump implemented his plans and his tariffs, and we had a budget surplus for the first time in over 20 years in the United States for our federal government. You won't be hearing about that either on the regular news. They won't say a word. But again, and now the mayor, Brandon Johnson, right, in Chicago, we've covered plenty of the city halls, the city council meetings. We've covered a lot of the locals. Ben Berquam has done an excellent job down there talking to the folks. They have what they call their own community. For some reason, they like to call the people the same color as the mayor, their people, instead of just the American people. I've never seen white people and considered them my people. If you're an American citizen, you love this country, you my people. I think you know that. They've called them out. If you remember, during the height of Biden's open border crisis, when Mayorkas was flooding Chicago with illegals, they were giving out food and subsidies for the community of Chicago. These people were showing up, and there's like, they're giving everything to these illegals. And that's when the replacement theory thing started coming true. It wasn't that whites were being replaced. It was that the American citizens were being replaced. How many of you remember that? And now $734 million. Chicago public schools bankrupted themselves by paying for illegal aliens. I can't even tell you, when you think about the hotels, all the money. Remember, they pay for their attorney too. But all those children that shouldn't even have been in the United States getting a public education, a taxpayer funded. I know they like to use free, but if it wasn't for taxpayers, there would be no public education. So it's taxpayer funded, and I just, it's frustrating me because it kills me. You can sit here and say, well, I don't live in Chicago. That affects you. Those people that are graduating school dumber and dumber, your children and your grandchildren are going to be paying for them for the rest of their lives. That's how that works. You can't read, you can't write, you can't add math. You're in trouble, folks. And Chicago wants to make sure there's more and more of those people in trouble, because that's more equality, right? Because these people that come over, they're not highly educated. They can't speak English, so why should anybody else? Just crazy. Now, here's the one I want to talk to you about. Woo, Victorville, California. What's going on, Victorville? You people are absolutely insane. I got some friends in Victorville. I should have called them up when I seen the story. They found a teddy bear outside of an AMPM, which appears to be wrapped in human flesh, like human skin. Now, this isn't some skin graphing gone wrong. This was a teddy bear. Take a listen to this story. I want to tell you, I showed Rachel this story, and when you see it, there was other stories we looked at, but she goes, reminds me of that movie Saw, something that you would see in Saw, or some wicked, crazy make-believe movie. But this is real life, folks.
This is a story not for the faint of heart, rather. First, we want to warn you, some of the details you might find disturbing. We've also blurred some of the graphic images from this as well. What you're looking at here is what San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies found.
Let me refresh. Hold on. We have a lot of windows up for today's show, so we're struggling. The computer's over here. Sounding worse than the car was.
For the faint of heart.
There we go.
New at 6. This is a story not for the faint of heart, rather. First, we want to warn you, some of the details you might find disturbing. We've also blurred some of the graphic images from this as well. What you're looking at here is what San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies found at the AMPM at Bear Valley and Amethyst Roads in Victorville today. Someone had reported finding an object that appeared to be covered in human remains. It is a teddy bear shaped object. It was left on the ground right outside that convenience store. The coroner's office has picked up that item and is now investigating. New at 6. This is a story not for the faint.
So I'm reading some of the comments. You guys are saying it was actually latex. Let me see if I can find an update really quick. I feel a little bit more comfortable it was latex. 15, a teddy bear believed to be wrapped in crudely stitched human skin was discovered today. I'm looking for updates. So apparently the guy that makes them and he shipped them to a customer thought it was real. Hold on, I'm just looking here. Because you know the gruesome's gonna, let's see, a disturbing discovery was made afternoon Sunday. A South Carolina-based artist, Robert Kelly of Dark Creek Creations, took to Facebook to claim responsibility, stating it was a piece of horror art made from latex. Now, that's what he's claimed. But it doesn't say that the police have confirmed that on this one. And I'll give you a better picture of these. Evil. Like, who would order this?
What you're looking at here is what San Bernardino County.
Take a look at this. That is not like that is not a teddy bear. I want to tell you, a teddy bear is something you give your kids. Supposed to comfort them, soothe them. That is evil. That is evil. Let me see if I can find any other updates just really quick. It does show that they are sold, even on Etsy. I'm going to have to follow up on this one later. Let's see. Victorville. Let me go to latest. Yeah, no, even the news is still reporting on that as of this morning. Yeah, a guy has claimed that he makes those and that he uses latex. But the police haven't. See, 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago. We'll have to follow up on that. I'll try to bookmark that so we can give you an update on the last one. That's crazy. And just because the guy makes them don't mean some freak in Victorville didn't say, hey. Right? How about this one? You guys are going to love this one. You love the FAFO moments. I got the hat on today. So Tampa, Florida, Turning Point USA had their event over the weekend. Would have been nice to be there. I got some highlights of it. I love Tom Homan, man. But a libtard got out of his vehicle and was challenging Turning Point USA attendees to a fight and then attacked somebody right in front of a police officer, and you'll get to watch the rest. And then we're going to show you who this guy is. Let me pull this up. Show stop. I want to.
Show me, you short boy. Look at this guy. Look at you, bro. Come on. Where you at? Oh, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Put you in the bathroom. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come close. Jump. Come close. You ready? You ready? Oh, you want something? You ready? Come on. Come on. Come on. Your car. They're gonna steal your car. They're gonna steal your car.
Hey, come over here.
Oh, now he's fighting. Now he's fighting.
What an idiot. What an absolute
There we
idiot.
go. We got the arrest. We got the arrest.
I got another video of this, and then we're going to show you who it is. But this dude was just triggered. I mean, imagine driving down the street, getting out of your car over your, I guess you would call it your opposing party, the Party of America, the Party of America First. Watch this one here. This was...
Yes, someone record this. Get his car. Steal his car. Go. Get in his car, man. Oh yeah! Beat his ass! Yeah, beat his ass! Oh! Yes! Let's go! Go home, pussy! Choke him out! Let's go! Yeah! Go home, steal his car! Steal his car! Let the dogs on him! Resisting arrest! Eat concrete, bitch! Put him away forever! This is a terrible day. We rage baited him all the way to get in. Something happened! USA! 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 USA!
I just love the USA chances he's getting arrested. What's great about this is, again, these events happen in a lot of places. You know, if that was, there's very few places in California where that cop would have even jumped over. He wouldn't have been arrested. But it's a good thing he was arrested because there was multiple charges on this. This was from I Mean, Therefore I Am. The unhinged leftist who attacked MAGA supporters has been identified as Travers Smith. He is now being charged with resisting arrest, battery, and what's that other one? Driving under the influence. Him actually getting out and getting himself arrested could have saved a life. Let's take a look at this stuff right here. Inmate Smith Trevor Darrell, arrest date 7/12. Man, he looks rough. He's 2 years younger than me. He's born in 1980. Status in jail. I think there's another picture here. Resisting officer without violence, battery, driving under the influence. Again, so make it on top of everything else, man. This guy went out and he was having some cocktails, and his day was not going to go bad. He's got a buzz on. He's living life, right? Till he sees MAGA and he can't control himself. It's just absolutely epic. Here is from Mr. Andy No. Take a look at this. We'll pull this up on the screen. The violent liberal protester who went viral for trying to fight a TPUSA attendee in Tampa has been arrested on suspicion of battery, resisting arrest, driving under the influence. He has been identified as 45-year-old Trevor Darrell Smith, a loan and mortgage advisor. Man, he's a Zillow preferred guy. I should email him, Trevor, at 14 days to close. See if they'll give us a little interview, huh? Yeah, you could tell. You don't got to go far. You don't got to go far. Again, that was from Andy No right there. I love a good ending to a story. I love a good ending to a story. Oh, hold on one second. We got B. Mikey gifted 5 subscriptions to the Oreo Express. If you received a subscription from B. Mikey, give him a shout out and a thank you. It's folks like me, Mikey, and all of you who donate subscriptions that keep us live on the air. So give him a big shout out and a thank you. We can't do it without you guys, man. It's incredible. And I just absolutely love the Oreo army and appreciate you guys. What else do we got now that we got that guy? But hey, that was good stuff, huh? That was good stuff. Let's see. So yesterday, unfortunately, I was not online much yesterday. It was kind of nice, even though I was working on the car, but I didn't get online all day. And then in the afternoon, after I got out of the pool, I was like, I'm going to see what's going on in the world. And one of the things that I learned about Richmond Road Baptist Church in Lexington, Kentucky. Suspect's dead. There was a shooting there. 1 officer shot and injured. 2 women killed. And 2 others injured. 1 critical. Here's that little church here. I'll put it up on the screen. Looks like one of those small town community, quaint, quiet churches. Says one nation under God with an American flag. I like that. Now, it didn't take long for people to identify the suspected shooter. And I'm not going to go through a whole thing. There is so much stuff online. But listen to this here. I'll give you an update here. Put this up on the screen here.
That are extremely difficult. And before I begin, I would like to extend my condolences to the victims, their families, and everyone impacted by today's violence. I would also like to wish a quick recovery to the Kentucky State Trooper who was shot. On July 13, 2025, around 11:36 a.m., Lexington police officers were dispatched for a shooting involving a Kentucky State Trooper on Terminal Drive. The trooper had pulled over a vehicle on Terminal Drive after receiving a license plate reader alert in the area of Versailles Road. The trooper was shot and the suspect fled. While that shooting occurred on Terminal Drive, it was unrelated to the Bluegrass Airport and did not occur inside the airport terminal. The trooper is in stable condition and receiving medical treatment. A short time later, The suspect carjacked a vehicle in the 3700 block of Bellawood Drive before fleeing the area. No injuries were reported during that carjacking. With the assistance of the department's Air Support Unit and Real-Time Intelligence Center, officers were able to track the vehicle to the Richmond Road Baptist Church in the 5800 block of Old Richmond Road. The suspect fired his weapon at individuals on church property. Preliminary information indicates that the suspect may have had a connection to the individuals at the church. 4 individuals were shot on church property. 2 female victims were pronounced deceased at the scene. The other 2 victims, both male, were transported to a local hospital. 1 victim was reported to have sustained critical injuries, and the other was reported in stable condition. The suspect was shot by responding law enforcement and was pronounced deceased at the scene. The suspect's information will be released after their family is notified. 3 Lexington police officers fired their service weapons in accordance with the Lexington Police Department's policies. The officers had their issued body-worn cameras activated. The incident is being investigated by the Kentucky State Police Critical Incidents Response Team, and the department's Public Integrity Unit will conduct an internal review of the incident. As per policy, the officers will be placed on administrative assignment pending the outcome of the investigation.
Just crazy. And you know, one thing I realized is I seen it going online by, the independent journalist. I didn't see any major breaking news. I had the news on in the background just to check. In the mornings, I turn local news on because I want to see what they're reporting on locally. And I didn't hear anything, but there's many posts going around. This is from I Mean, Therefore I Am. He says, the gunman behind the shooting rampage in Lexington, Kentucky has been identified on social media as a local resident and longtime criminal, Guy E. House. Reports indicate that House was a pro-Palestinian convert to Islam with pro-immigration views. He fatally shot 2 women and injured 2 men, 1 critical and the other is now in stable condition. The deceased victims have been identified as 72-year-old Beverly Gum and 32-year-old Christina Combs. Take a look at this guy. Yeah, they're trying to say he's MAGA. They always do that. We know that. But take a look. He's got it looks like, isn't that the dishcloth around his neck? And then there's this picture too. But why though? Why the POTUS got to have a harder mugshot than most of the people I know? JD looked like he might own a rent-a-center in the town he went to college, and I don't know. I don't want anybody to notice who he is on TV. These guys are. There was a lot of stuff on this. Let me see if I pulled up another one. No, let me pull up another one really quick. Yeah. He was like a failed rapper. He was a lot of stuff. Let's see. Check this out. I guess this is one of his older videos.
Struggle made me. Get on my grind. Suckers hate me. Always trying to shit on my shine. So daily. All I never sit on the.
That gives you enough of that. But again, you could tell, definitely not MAGA, folks. But that's besides the point. I know a lot of us go to church on Sunday and we just want to come home when we go to church, right? And you got these crazy radical leftists that don't want you to come home. Well, you're going home to the real home, especially if you was at church. Speaking of radical jihadists, I want you to take a listen to this. I don't know how much I'm going to play, but just take a listen. This is kind of interesting, to say the least, especially when there's so many threats against our president. and so many people unhinged. The same Democrats that support China and Iran having nuclear weapons are the same ones that are out encouraging folks to incite violence with our federal immigration enforcement officers. Take a look.
This coming as a fatwa, or religious decree from Iranian officials, is calling for the assassination of President Trump, and they claim to have created an online fund worth an estimated $4. Max Lesser is senior analyst for emerging threats at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. He's been looking into all of this and does join us now live to discuss it a little bit further. First off, Max, thank you so much for being here with us. Can you kind of explain the situation here overall as a whole, what we're being told and maybe what we don't know just yet?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Josh. So there have been a lot of threats issued recently by members of the Iranian government, Shiite clerics against Trump or just against Americans more broadly. And what I would say is that Iran has been trying to assassinate President Trump for years. And now it's all out in the open. And what I've been looking at with my team at FDD is a particular website that is seeking or allegedly claiming to crowdfund a bounty for Donald Trump's assassination, saying, look, if you carry out this deed, we will compensate you with this money. They claim to have raised millions and millions of dollars. The most recent figure was over $40 million. We have no idea if this is a legitimate number or not, but it's a clear effort to try to mobilize and motivate any sympathetic audience to carry out an act of violence against President Trump.
$40 million. So check this out. It's an Iranian-linked website crowdfunding a hit on President Trump. Over 40 million raised. It's a man with direct ties to the Iranian government. He launched this website. The site is named after an Arabic word for revenge and promotes a religious decree calling for Trump's death. Says the founder is linked to Iran's state broadcasting agency, a clear connection to the Iranian regime. They're openly using this website to influence and incite global violence. Just think about that for a second. A lot of these people will just, especially these terrorists and these jihadists, they will murder just for recognition. And now you're putting $40 million on the line. That's crazy. And those sites are allowed to remain. Could you imagine that? So pray for President Trump. We know he's got some interesting stuff to deal with, and especially those that want to kill him, man. I thought this was interesting. I turned on over the weekend, I think it was last night again when I hadn't been on social media all day. JD Vance was at, I don't know if it was California Adventures, but Disneyland, I guess, one of the Disneys here in California. And, it's interesting. California, as you know, before I move on, Pageant CA gifted 5 subscriptions to the Oreo Express. If you're in the chat and you don't have a subscription, you chat, you will automatically receive a subscription. So thank you to Pageant. Again, thank you guys so much for all your help, your continued support. It is just amazing. It is fabulous that you guys help us out. We just want to say thank you. But in California, all places, there was a Karen. I want you to listen to the Karen. And I think Karen speaks for all of us because Karen don't understand the difference between legal and illegal. Listen to this.
Mr. Vice President, we support immigrants. We support America. We support immigrants. We support America. I thought California was violent.
So a triggered liberal, probably, You know, those liberals that were at Disney? Could you imagine how that just ruined their freaking day because a man is out there with his family? And we all support immigrants, legal immigrants, not people that cross the border, cross the river, come in illegally. We don't support that, and we won't. We voted for legal immigration, and we've had a legal immigration system that has brought more than enough people into the United States over my lifetime. But Vice President, we support immigrants. Yes, so do I. A lot of my friends are immigrants. A lot of people in the MAGA movement are immigrants. They're actually probably the strongest ones when it comes to border security because they usually fled a country that this place, the United States, is going to turn into if we don't stop the illegal invasion. And there was, dude, every leftist online was putting pictures of JD Vance up there, just triggered yesterday. And I found this one. I just thought it was interesting because this is Los Angeles, California. Now, granted, there's a lot of people that travel to the Disney theme parks, but I just want you to listen to the people in the background. What do you hear? Boos or cheers for our vice president? You tell me. Put it up on the screen.
Wait for me right here, okay? 1 second. Thank you, folks. Appreciate it. Let's stay quiet, please. Thank you.
I love seeing the vice president with his family. I mean, we really, it's been quite a while. I can't remember who in our lifetime where we had somebody that wasn't, you know, maybe we had a VP that had grandkids, but I mean, you look at Kamala, no. You look at Mike Pence, no. You look at all these people that were VPs before. I think this kind of is what America needs, is to see what America families do. They go out, and the left is upset. They would have rather him dressed up as a drag queen and been out there, you know, twerking for little kids. But he's not. He's out there spending time with his family at a theme park, which he deserves. And I think it's great because it embodies exactly what this country needs. We need men in the household. We need families to do family things. And we don't have this with a lot of seems like the more recent generations. I'm not a Disney fan. I've had opportunities to go with my daughter. I was like, no, I love Magic Mountain. Excuse me. Universal Studios, all those things, but Disney is not for me. The price of the stuff at Disney is not for me. About 5 years ago, was it COVID? Yeah, up until probably the middle of COVID, we had you could back in the day, you could, I think you still can, but at Magic Mountain, it's about a 2-hour and 40-minute drive from here. And I bought the family season tickets. So whenever we would go to LA, we would just make, you know, oh, it's the kid's birthday. Let's go to Magic Mountain. We used to have fun. And there was one day I'll never forget. It was supposed to rain, but all it did was lightly mist. And we went on every ride multiple times. We didn't wait more than 3 minutes for a ride. And I was like, man, I would pay a hell of a lot more money to get into a park if it was like this. It was just fun. We had a lot of fun. I actually got a viral video because we refused to wear a mask. And they were okay with it. They were sick and tired of their customers complaining. And so it was at the end of the day, and this overzealous security guard, I was waiting for, I think she was returning, Rachel was returning something we rented, probably a stroller or something for Caden. And so I was like, I'm going to go see if they have any, what's that when you walk out of Magic Mountain? I want to say, man, I'll think of it. And so I'm just going, and I walk in like 3 feet into the store. And the security goes, you need to wear a mask. I said, I don't have a mask. Been here all day, been on every ride, been in every store, ate lunch, don't have a mask. She goes, well, you can't be in here. And I pulled out my phone and I start recording. The people working in the facility didn't have a mask on either. And then they're watching what's going on. And of course, I got a MAGA hat on. And they pull up their mask really quick. And let's just say this, I went to turn around to walk out to see if Rachel was walking by because I didn't want her to walk by and miss me. And she put her hand on my chest. And I was like, you do not have the right to touch me. I said some choice words. It wasn't that. And I say, you touch me again, and that pepper spray is going to do nothing for you. I don't care. You don't have a right to assault me. And so Rachel comes walking up, and then she makes this big old scene and calls other police there and starts lying about the situation. I had the whole thing recorded, and she didn't even pay attention to that. So end up going to their customer service, and it takes me a lot to go complain. Ended up going over there, showing them the video. And I was like, is this how you want your, I'm a season pass holder. I've been here, I don't know, 20 times in the last year and a half, never had an issue, but is this how you, oh, you know what? Calls another manager over. I talked to him the next day. She was out, no longer have a job, acting all big with the masks. But you know what? They're sitting here saying this guy's a soy boy. JD Vance is a soy boy and all these other things. Check this out. He shared this, and this is just epic. We don't get this with Democrats at all. Had a great time hiking with the Marines at Camp Pendleton over the weekend. So not only did he go there, but he went and spent time with our U.S. Marines. Of course, he was a Marine from 2003 to 2007. And Vance, who served in the Marines from 2003 to 2007, led the hike to reinforce the values and camaraderie and unit cohesion, a fundamental element in Marine training. Hiking builds both physical endurance and mental resilience in preparation for future battles. I don't know about you, but he's still, I think he's still up there on the list for VP or for president in 2028. I think it's just great. And, as we know, our military finally is able to respect. They have record enrollment numbers. Their quotas are being blown out of the water. When just before Trump got elected, they were having a hard time filling. It's like, hey, they're trying to get all these people that want transgender surgeries and everything else into our military. It's the only way they could get any enrollment because nobody had respect for our government anymore. Now that Trump's back in there, now you got Pete Hegseth, the Department of Defense. People are like, sign me up. So it's awesome news. I thought that was absolutely great. Now, another thing that came out, there was a New York Times article. How many of you guys have heard about this article? It has to do with the auto pin and who authorized Joe Biden's pardons. One of them in particularly, we're going to talk about two, but one was Fauci. And this is from the New York Times. I want to put this on the board and we're going to read it. And this is Trump spoke about it today. It says, Mr. Biden did not individually approve each name for the categorical pardons that applied to large numbers of people. He and aides confirmed. Rather, after an extensive discussion of different possible criteria, he signed off on the standards he wanted to be used to determine which convicts would qualify for a reduction in sentence. Even after Mr. Biden made that decision, one former aide, the Bureau of Prisons, kept providing additional information about specific inmates, resulting in small changes to the list. Rather than ask Mr. Biden to keep signing revised versions, his staff waited, then ran with the final version through an auto pin, which they said was a routine procedure. I think we got another one that gives some a detailed timeline. Let me see if it's this one. So just to give you an idea, people, he was saying even the pardons, I think the pardons were signed. I don't know if I have that one up, but like Dr. Fauci, I think it was like 10:17, 10:18, 10:19 at night. We know Joe Biden is not going to be awake at 10:19. It was approved by one of his aides, and it was signed by the Autopin. So people are talking about this. Browse Article 2 of the executive branch of the Constitution. Take a look at this, and it's got a highlighted part right here. The president shall be commander-in-chief of the Army and the Navy of the United States and of the militia of several states. When called into actual service of the United States, he may require the opinion in writing of the principal officer in each executive departments upon any subject relating to the duties of their respective offices, and he shall have power to grant reprieves and pardons for offenses against the United States. He has the power. Not an aide. I won't even talk about the Autopin. He was not in the room when this was being done. He shall have power to grant reprieves and pardons for offenses against the United States, folks. This is bringing up a lot of stuff. Rand Paul, here's the list. Here's the timeline. Rand Paul today, and gotta love Rand for this. Today, I will reissue my criminal referral of Anthony Fauci to the Trump DOJ. Here it is. Listen to this. At the January 19th meeting, which took place in the yellow Oval Room of the White House residence, Mr. Biden kept his aides until nearly 10 p.m. to talk through such decisions, according to people familiar with the matter. The emails show that an aide to Mr. Siskel sent a draft summary of Mr. Biden's decision at the meeting to an assistant to Mr. Zients, copying Mr. Siskel at 10:03 p.m. The assistant forwarded it to Mr. Reed and Mr. Zients, asking for their approval, and then sent a final version to Ms. Feldman, copying many meeting participants and aides at 10:28. 3 minutes later, Mr. Zients hit reply all and wrote, I approve the use of the Autopin for the executive of all the following pardons. Why isn't Biden involved in any of this? Now, I don't know if this is going to go anywhere. I would love to see Anthony Fauci rot in jail. What he did to this country, what he did to our children. I mean, this is Dr. Evil right here. This is the mad scientist, Dr. Fauci. The GOP Oversight Committee put this up today. And it says, bombshell, the New York Times quietly confirms Biden aides used the Autopin to issue executive actions without a clear sign he even approved them. This is exactly why we're investigating. We must know who was calling the shots in the West Wing. The Fifth will not help them cover up the biggest political scandal in history. And when they're talking about Fifth, they're talking about the Fifth Amendment, the right to remain silent or not incriminate yourself. Biden says he made, this is the New York Times. That's another article on the headline, folks. Now, again, all these were kind of last minute pardons, but you know who else was in there on those last minute pardons? General Milley. Think about that. Having to put General Milley on there. I wonder why. Well, because he came out and blatantly bragged about treason after Trump was out of office. How about this? Let's just pull this up here and let him do some time.
Chinese thought wrongly that the United States was going to attack them. I am certain that President Trump had no intent to attack. And it was my task to make sure I communicated that. And the purpose was to de-escalate, calm things down.
You shared all that earlier.
And,
I understand.
And as part of that,
just say, did you or did you not tell him that if we were going to attack, you would let him know?
as part of that conversation, I said, General Lee, there's not going to be a war. There's not going to be attack between great powers. And if there was, the tensions would build up. There'd be calls going back and forth from all kinds of senior officials. I said, hell, General Lee, I'll probably give you a call, but we're not going to attack you Trust me, we're not going to attack you. These are two great powers, and I am doing my best to transmit the president's intent, President Trump's intent, to ensure that the American people are protected from an incident that could escalate.
I understand your intent, but I think you articulating that you would tell him, you would give him a call, I think is worthy of your resignation.
If we had somebody in in the name of General Milley, in those Iranian nuclear site attacks that we did, I wouldn't doubt Iran would have got a call from somebody like General Milley if he was still a general. And what he did was treasonous. It was traitorous. And I'm ready for those pardons to be null and void, folks. Take a listen to Trump today. We're gonna, in our second show, we're gonna cover today's news. Trump talked about putting a 100% tariff on Russia in 50 days if they can't de-escalate the war and come to a truce. All kind of stuff. We're gonna get into it in our second show. But take a look at this.
I think is maybe one of the biggest scandals that we've had. Look, the auto pen, I think, is maybe one of the biggest scandals that we've had in 50 to 100 years. This is a tremendous scandal. And I know the people on the other side of the, see that desk, that Resolute desk? Unfortunately, he used it before me. But, you know, we have our choice of 7 desks. They're all beautiful, but I chose the Resolute, and so did he, unfortunately. But the people on the other side of the Resolute desk, I know them. Lisa, the whole group, and they're no good. They're sick people. And I guarantee you he knew nothing about what he was signing. I guarantee it. Look, the auto pen, I think, is maybe one of.
So this is going to be interesting. I want a resolution, folks. I am sick of the oversight committee investigating and just saying, well, we'll just let the American people know. The American people forget in 24 to 48 hours. Our news cycle runs so fast. That's why people say, oh, this is going to kill Trump. They're not even going to, I mean, the left's going to be spewing it, everything for the midterms. But in all reality, with our news cycle, what was in the news just a couple days ago, we've already forgotten about. And when I say we, I'm talking about the general public. Because there's so much going on with social media. News flies so fast. We get to see real news, and it's just absolutely insane. This was this morning. Now it looks like Fox News alert that Joe Biden tells the New York Times he orally granted the pardons and commutations issued at the end of his term. Take a listen to this.
The New York Times is reporting that former President Biden told them that he had orally granted all the pardons and commutations issued at the end of his term, meaning he did not personally sign the official warrants for clemency. Biden told the Times that he did, in fact, make every single one of the clemency decisions himself, but says that the auto pen was used to sign the warrants since there were a lot of them. Now, according to the Times, Biden called Trump and Republicans liars for saying he was incapacitated and his aides used the auto pen without his authorization. Alicia, I see you're shaking your head. Your response to this?
Well, I have so many responses to this because we're supposed to believe this at this point. It's really hard to swallow that statement there, that he said that he made the decision on, quote, every single one, when we know from so much reporting that there was a limit to his time where people had access to him. So there were decisions that were made, quote unquote, after hours. We know that for a fact. And so to say that it was every single one, I'm going to have to see the receipts on this one because, and this is the question before Congress right now. They're trying to figure it out. That's why we have a line of aides and staffers coming up to testify. Who knows what we'll find out, but it's an interesting statement.
David can barely sit in his chair. You guys aren't seeing this at home. He's literally dying to get in here, David.
You're both on to something American people need to pay attention. Time, math. how many commutations and pardons in one day, and how many hours would it take for him to do this individually? It strains incredulity. Remember Hillary Clinton said willing suspension of disbelief?
So it's going to be interesting. Well, obviously, we've been covering this from the beginning. We'll see what Rand Paul's, he sent that back to the DOJ. We'll see what their response is. There is a lot of investigations going on, and we'll see what happens. But before we move on really quick, guys, check this out. This sponsorship is from Rumble, one that is incredibly important to the survival of the company. When Rumble first started in 2013, they built the platform for the small creator. They didn't censor or have biases. They were fair and treated all creators equally. No one thought platforms would censor political conversation or censor opinions on COVID, but they did. Facebook admitted they fell to pressure from the Biden-Harris administration. Rumble did not. They held the line. They are attacked daily for giving us a voice to talk to you. They are attacked in corporate media. They are attacked in governments like France. They are attacked from brand advertisers who refuse to work with them. Corporate America is fighting to remove speech. Rumble is fighting to keep it. Rumble won't survive with brand advertisers. They don't get much of it. Watching our show on Rumble is the most they can ask from you. But if you really believe in this fight, and if you have the means, one major way you can help Rumble survive is by joining Rumble Premium. Join the community that believes in the First Amendment and believes in our human right to free speech. Rumble is offering $10 off if you use promo code STUDIO when you purchase an annual subscription. Go to rumble.com/premium and use promo code STUDIO. Like I said, if you have the means, believe in the cause, now is the time to join Rumble Premium. If you don't have the means, we're just happy you're here watching us on Rumble. And again, guys, if it wasn't for Rumble, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. We are grateful for Rumble. We do Rumble Premium only lives. And if you guys want to do that, you can either go to that site that we mentioned, or on our page, you can even do monthly, and we get credit for it. It helps us out at the end of the month. But again, you will see us do Rumble Premium lives occasionally. I don't know if tonight will be one. I'm trying to plan one tonight. And probably go over some of, because yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Just kind of go through, talk about it, kind of an informal. And we want to say thank you to all the Rumble Premium members on there. Without you guys, we could not be doing this right now. So it's extremely important. What else do we have? So last week, we stayed up kind of late covering the raid over in California of the marijuana farm, the weed farm, the cannabis factory. So there was an update to what happened. This one's from Bill Malugan, and then we got some highlights too. It says, breaking, DHS reports the number of illegal aliens arrested in the California cannabis farm raids on Thursday is now up to 361. Now, those are jobs Americans will do, I promise you. I know people, I've met people when I've been in other places that actually work at these places. Now, this includes, of the 361, this includes the people Democrats want in your neighborhood. Democrats are fighting for these people not to be detained. That includes a previously deported Mexican alien convicted of kidnapping, attempted rape, and attempted child molestation. You heard me right. And this person was in there with illegal alien unaccompanied minors. Mexican alien convicted of rape and DUI. Salvadorian alien convicted of DUI and hit and run with property damage. Mexican alien convicted 3 times for burglary and a DUI. It says DHS says 500 plus rioters attempted to interrupt the operation, and 4 U.S. citizens have been arrested for assaulting or resisting federal agents. 14 migrant and juveniles, 14 now, were found in the cannabis farm, including 9 of those unaccompanied. Again, what a historic day in California. You might not like it. Oh, we did. I mean, let me just tell you, this was a weed farm. And Democrats' first thing to tweet out was, these are the people that are putting strawberries and food on your tables. You're not going to be able to eat. I don't eat weed. I don't think it tastes that good. So again, they tried to put this narrative over there. Again, this was all legally done. There was a search warrant. This is what you call harboring illegals. And hopefully they shut this place down, because they were harboring 361, including rapists, attempted child molestation. Sorry. Actually, and people, even CNN tried to say, well, children can work in that. Okay, just to let you know, there's different regulations when you work with tobacco, alcohol, and marijuana. There is legal age limits for the people that have to work there. First of all, unaccompanied slave labor should never be allowed. Somebody that's come across, don't have parents there, don't have any of that. That should not be allowed. But it's also against the law in a marijuana factory. Listen to this update here.
Well, this was 10 individuals, but I will say in those California raids, investigations, a lot of viewers will remember last week, Prairie Land Detention Facility down in Texas. We saw similar attacks against ICE enforcement officers. Again, it was highly coordinated attacks. They were wearing gear and had rifles as well. This was 10 individuals. But I will say, in those California raids, particularly disturbing the number of politicians that came out and continue to villainize and attack and demonize our ICE law enforcement officers. At that particular operation, David, at those marijuana facilities, our ICE enforcement officers found 14 children, 10 who were unaccompanied. They were likely being exploited, potential slave or forced labor, potential child and human trafficking. So this is something that is incredibly disturbing. It goes far beyond politics. And not only were there 10 unaccompanied children at that marijuana facility, but we also apprehended 361 illegal aliens with heinous rap sheets that include kidnapping, child molestation, rape, serial burglary, hit and runs. These are no people who should not be in our communities illegally, much less around innocent children, David.
Tricia, it's Alicia Acuna. Continuing on this topic in particular, according to Customs and Border Control.
And speaking, I got to give a shameless plug here because I love what we're seeing. I am wearing today, which you can find on the OreoExpress.com/shop, and people love it. People love it. We got the More Ice, Please t-shirt on today. So if you guys want, I'm telling you, got to support Trump. If you guys want to head over to the OreoExpress.com/shop, that's another way you get something really cool. Go order yourself a shirt. And we say thank you guys for, I'm telling you, this was epic when I wore this to Washington. I loved it. Now let's talk about some of those things that were going on. We covered Friday before we got off the air that President Trump was on his way back from Texas and was watching the videos of the assaults on federal enforcement, people throwing bricks and rocks through the windshield. We've seen this in LA, the riots that never happened, according to Mayor Karen Bass. And so he said he sent a memo out, Kristi Noem, DHS, all this, and said, listen, these people get rocks thrown at them or people are assaulting, they are to immediately stop their van and arrest these people, their vehicle, and arrest these people. Listen to Todd Lyons, which is the acting ICE director right now. Take a listen to this.
Like Mr. Holman said, that was a criminal operation. That was a federal criminal search warrant and federal arrest warrant that we executed. So, Bill, we hear all the time that, ICE is out there. They don't have any warrants. They're just kidnapping people on the street. Well, we did exactly what elected officials on the left and the right have both said. If we had a criminal search warrant, if we had something signed by a judge, they would support us. And obviously they're not. We went ahead and did a dual law enforcement mission where we were looking at someone that was an organization based in America that was focused on human trafficking, forced labor, and potential child welfare trafficking. And that's what we did. We went ahead and we executed that search warrant, yet still we meet resistance and a lot of rhetoric for just out there doing our law enforcement mission. So like Mr. Holman said, that
this again was, and everything they're doing is legit, guys. If your job is to pick up people that are here illegally, and you know that 100% of the people standing outside of the Home Depot looking for day labor are not American citizens, go to Home Depot, arrest them. You might not like it, but I'm sorry, we need to enforce. If you don't like the laws, change
was a
them.
criminal operation.
There's
That
laws
was
I don't like. There's things that I advocate for. Again, if you don't like it, now check this out. I love this. So Jonathan Caravello was one of the citizens, protesters that was arrested. He is a professor. And instantly the fake news came out and said that ICE had kidnapped him. Of course, we'll get to the real story, but this is the person that we're talking about right here. This was actually from the People's City Council, which is a communist group in Los Angeles that just push fake news, fake narratives. They are trash, and hopefully people will stand up against these fools. Take a listen to this. This is a video montage they did.
Cal State Channel Islands professor and community member Jonathan Caravello has been kidnapped by ICE and is still missing. Jonathan is a beloved professor, community member, and family member who always used his voice to speak up for those around him. The night before Jonathan was kidnapped, he was speaking at City Council to defend his students against the most recent ICE raids in our community.
Many of my students are undocumented and many of their families are undocumented. It's my responsibility.
Hold on really quick. Why are students undocumented? Why are students getting American education if they're here illegally? It's not undocumented. They are here illegally.
Responsibility to protect them. And so I've been patrolling the city streets, following armed masked thugs trying to kidnap my neighbors.
So he's stalking ICE. He's trying to aid and abet criminal illegal aliens. That's great that you'd come out and admit that.
Arriving at this peaceful protest next to his university, we saw ICE run over protesters with their vehicles and relentlessly tear gas the peaceful.
Run over protesters. Nobody got ran over. They were trying to block. Do not play in the streets. Do not block federal law enforcement from executing a legal search warrant.
Peaceful protesters targeting the most vulnerable.
And don't forget, we're going to show you something. They're still looking for the guy that at this peaceful protest pulled out a gun and started shooting at Border Patrol and our National Guard, folks.
Including our elderly, as well as people with disabilities. Other CSUCI faculty, students, and staff were also at this peaceful protest, but Jonathan was targeted multiple times by ICE agents for helping other protesters. He was then attacked by over 4 ICE agents, unidentified, and dragged away into an unmarked vehicle. Another protester was kidnapped by ICE agents in the exact same way. Dozens of ambulances were coming in and out of the raid for the workers being impacted by ICE's even more intense violence on the inside. And as we continue to look for our loved ones and all those who are impacted by these glass house raids, please use these resources and please help us continue searching.
He got kidnapped, guys. No. What did he do? He threw a tear gas canister at law enforcement. This is from Channel Islands, where he is a professor. And this is just hilarious. It says, an important notification from CSUCI statement about Professor Jonathan Caravello being taken into federal custody during a protest. California State University Channel Island is aware of reports that Professor Jonathan Anthony Caravello of CSU Channel Island, a legal U.S. citizen, was taken into federal custody during a protest at a Glass House Farms in Camarillo. We are currently gathering additional information to fully understand the circumstances of the incident. At this time, it is our understanding that Professor Caravello was peacefully participating in a protest, an act protected under the First Amendment and a right guaranteed to all Americans. If confirmed, we stand with elected officials and community leaders calling for his immediate release. Your tax dollars paid for that statement, by the way. How about this one? This is from California Faculty Association. Can't wait until all these places are gone. Look at it. It says, one of our union leaders, Jonathan A. Caravallo, PhD, was arrested during an ICE raid in Camarillo, California, while he was lawfully observing immigration enforcement activities. We are calling for the immediate release of Dr. Caravallo from federal custody with no charges. Let's see. Check that out. Professor Jonathan Caravallo was arrested for throwing tear gas canisters at law enforcement. Border Patrol came out. Department of Homeland Security came out. So this is crazy. California State University professor arrested for attacking DHS agents, folks. Again, I'm glad he was arrested. But again, they're doing everything they can to push a fake news narrative, to tell people, oh, this guy, he was just an observer. That's all he was doing. It's just great. I hope they punish him to the fullest extent of the law. I don't think he should be able to be allowed to teach anymore. If he wants to be a full-time activist, George Soros can pay for him. But once again, we will be America first, illegal alien last, and we will do the deportations that America voted for. This is California Faculty Association right here. This is kind of funny too. Take a look at this one here. It says, Professor John Caravallo has been located and we have connected with his family. We are working on getting him legal support. So they're again doing the George Floyd and all the Minneapolis riot stuff. These people are bailing out people that are attacking law enforcement. I'm going to tell you what this will do. This will encourage others to do that same thing, just like it did back in 2020. It says, thank you to everyone who has helped in the search. We will keep you posted on the process and bring John home. So look at, they have please donate to support bail and legal fees for CSU faculty member John Caravallo, who was arrested defending our communities from ICE during the raid. He was arrested for an assault on federal officers. He threw a tear gas canister at officers. That's not some light. They have the SLO Bail Fund on Venmo right there labeled. And then there's another one. This is just insane. Again, we are seeing history repeat itself, and it's just sad to see. It's just sad to see. We'll bring you updates on that, but we got some other stuff to cover. So we know Tom Homan was heading to Portland, and we've seen multiple federal arrests on these rioters in Portland that are doing everything from assaulting law enforcement to vandalism to you name it. Even one of the neighbors, we covered this, that went out and confronted him, has now filed a lawsuit to the city of Portland because they're not doing anything about this illegal encampment. The encampment was removed. And according to that lady in one of her posts, I didn't pull it up, but they went in and they are starting to rebuild that encampment. Same thing. Remember Chaz or Chop or all these other retards. This is a retard area, guys. Come in here. We're gonna grow our fruits and vegetables right here on the street. You can't make this stuff up. And I get it. A lot of them aren't mentally all there. But on July 12th, which was what, 2 days ago, Saturday night, they have literally made a list. They know who some of these violent people are. And on Saturday night, they sprinted out of the ICE facility to find one of the dangerous riot suspects. Take a look at this. I love this.
What, bro? For what? For what? For what? For what? Like, did you guys just want to get some exercise or something?
Yeah, retard. That's what they wanted.
Who did they snatch?
Guarantee
Who did they
she's
grab?
living off government assistance.
They got one. Who did they grab?
They got him.
Who was it? Who did they grab?
So after Trump's statement about, listen, these people that are doing this, they need to be arrested. We need to prosecute them. You're seeing a little bit of difference. I just want, so we know we got Alligator Alcatraz. That's been the name given to a federal immigration facility for detaining and deporting a criminal illegal aliens. Great name for it. But they allowed some Democrats to go in there and tour the facility. Now, it doesn't matter if they were having steak and lobster under candlelight with one of our senators there having margaritas with them. We know what they're going to come out and say. And I don't know much about how Debbie Wasserman Schultz lives, but this is probably the funniest clip when you really think about it that we're going to show during this entire thing. Take a listen to this.
So they essentially drink, they get their drinking water and they brush their teeth where they poop.
I don't know about you all. I know there's some nice houses with separated sinks, but I brush my teeth in the bathroom. That's where I poop. Now, I don't like to tell you everything I do in my life, but she's upset that these folks are in a facility that's designed like a prison. They are criminal illegal aliens. That was hilarious. When I seen that, I was like, wait, did I hear that right? I had to go back and play it because I also brush my teeth where I poop. Don't know about you guys. Some of y'all, like if Penny Loafer Matt's probably still at work, but I mean, he might have somewhere special. But take a listen again. They were absolutely just, it was crazy. And once again, you will never see Debbie Wasserman Schultz or Maxwell Frost or any of these other Democrats worried about American citizens that are living in horrendous conditions. We do have prisons that need reform. We do have prisons where these inmates are getting beat regularly that are American citizens. They're not going into those prisons. They're going into these detention centers and standing up for illegal aliens. I've said it before. I've never, ever seen Democrats fight this hard for one, and I've never seen them fight 1/10 this hard for American citizens. We have a serious problem on our hands, and this is one of those things that I think needs to be used a lot for the midterms. Show struggling Americans. Show the homeless in these people's districts. And go out there and interview them. So when was Debbie Wasserman Schultz out here to talk about your horrible living conditions? Oh, she wasn't? Well, she was at the detention center and she was worried about where these people poop. You're telling me you don't have a toilet? Where do you eat from? You eat right here on the ground? I mean, it would be epic. And then put in the background her speaking on behalf of illegal aliens. Because again, a majority of American citizens get their news from legacy media. They turn on their TV. I've talked about it 1,000 times. They get up, they go to work, they come home, they're making dinner for their kids. They got a busy day, busy schedule. They turn on their local news, just see what's going on. And this is the stuff that is spewed through their local news. Let's take a listen to the whole thing.
So they essentially drink, they get their drinking water and they brush their teeth where they poop in the same unit. They bragged that went above standards, supposedly, and gave them a 3-foot privacy wall that stretches the length inside the 32 detainee cage, a 3-foot privacy wall that stretches the length of the 3 toilets. So,
sounds pretty good. In jail, you don't get that. American citizens in jail don't get that. They don't get a privacy wall. Well, let's listen to the next one. This one's trying to make a name for himself. It's just funny, but listen to what he says after his visit to Alligator Alcatraz.
One other thing I want to say too that I think is really important to paint this picture. When they let us in to see the cages, and we saw people, of course, yelling for help, we even heard in the background someone yell, "I'm an American citizen." They started chanting "Libertad," freedom, liberty. And I got to tell you, it was very emotional to be there for all of us, to hear that, and to see that our taxpayer money is being used for this stunt.
It's not a stunt. Serious. I would like to know, again, they don't want any illegals removed. They don't want child molesters, child rapists. They don't want drug traffickers, human traffickers, murderers. We've done that. And there's been no kudos from the Democrats. There's been no Democrats say, you know what? Actually, who was it that put out a statement? Oh, I think it was, I'll pull it up right now. It was Mark Cuban, who's a absolute dipwad. I'm going to write this down so I don't forget to pull it up. But they don't want any of these people deported. They again, it has to do with congressional representation because these people are counted in the census, and we get congressional representation based on one thing, and that's population. Hopefully that'll be changes where we don't count illegal aliens and Democrats would lose a lot of seats. That's one thing that they're scared of. Again, it's about power and control. That's why if they got power and control by standing up for the American citizens, maybe we need a change. Maybe they would fight for American citizens like they fight for illegal aliens. Let me show you what Mark Cuban said really quick. I forgot about this one till right now, and I didn't bookmark it. See if it pops up quickly. You know what? Let me pull up his page instead of searching for it. See if I can find it. He said, let me see if I put it in this way. He was pretty much saying, if Democrats just, it doesn't matter what Republicans do, Democrats aren't going to give them credit or say, hey, we're glad this guy's out. Mark Hunter Top. Let's see. I'm not going to be able to find it, maybe. Let me pull this up. Usually it's easier to find than this. I should have. Yeah, it's not coming up. It didn't hit the algorithm enough to stay at the top. But he pretty much says that, hey, listen, you know, and I don't agree with it either because, but he was saying, let's have a top 100 of the illegal aliens and let's get them arrested and deported and have Democrats work with them. Then we can move to the top 1,000. No, those numbers you're talking about, Mark, aren't going to work. If you said, let's get the top 5 million, that's a start. But again, this country has been invaded for a long time. And just under Joe Biden, possibly up to 21 million illegal aliens. As I've said before, I'm all about making a deal for DACA. Many of the people, and in order to make that deal, you can't have lived off the government the entire time. You needed to follow the law. If you have drug possession charges, I'm sorry, DACA, you're out of DACA. But again, we know Democrats don't want that because Trump offered that in his first term. He said, listen, I want this much for the border wall. And in turn, because we have a problem on our southern border, we have terrorists coming through, we have child rapists, we have pedophiles coming through, we have all this stuff coming through our southern border. I just want money for a wall. And in turn, we can work out a deal with DACA. Democrats said, hell no. Because again, Democrats don't care truthfully about illegal aliens. They care about their own power. Their own power. What else do we got coming up? Let's check out this one. So we got a lot of these groups, and we've been covering them. A lot of these NGOs that we covered when we were covering the border that was aiding and abetting the invasion of our country, they're no longer being able to get plane tickets for these people. They're no longer funded like they were before by your tax dollars. So they're going off in other extreme measures. Some of them are actively working against our federal law enforcement. This one here, I just want to go, this one here, VC Defensa. Listen to this. They literally admit to obstructing federal law enforcement. I want you to listen to these people. Think and understand that we need to push the administration to let them know it's okay to go after these people, folks. Oh, hold on. Let me refresh that. Computer's tired. They're like, we hit the hour and a half. Oh, this page doesn't exist. That's why it wasn't. Let me find it. Damn, what'd I say it was? I wonder why they pulled that off. Hold on. Oh, it might not be able. Anyways, it was let me see. Find it a different way. That hasn't happened in a long time. So yeah, I put up obstructing law enforcement and see if it. You know what? If I find it, I will show it on definitely show it on the next show. Let's move on to this one. So CBP put this out this morning. Again, still wanted at the peaceful protest. If you have any information on this shooter, please call 1-800-CALL-FBI. Remember this guy that was shooting at the peaceful protest?
It appears a protester fired some kind of gun at federal agents. This happened this afternoon. It was a really chaotic scene at the time. A lot of smoke was being launched at the protesters. And again, it appears a protester fired back with that weapon. It looks like he fired at least a couple of times. We have not heard about any agents being hurt.
So, and there's a picture. Obviously, I'm surprised we don't have better pictures yet. Hopefully, they're in the process of doing that. We need it quick. But again, that's how dangerous it is for our ICE, our Border Patrol, our National Guard. We don't need National Guard. Remember that? Remember that? You got literally people assaulting ICE. You had a professor throw tear gas at our federal law enforcement officials. You had this guy start shooting a gun. Imagine if one of those ICE officers were struck and killed. I think it's going to happen. I do. I think there's going to be one severely injured. I don't think it's going to take more than a month, or one of them shot. And at that point, I think you're going to see the wrath of the federal government, and I'll be right behind it. I'll be right behind it. Let's see what else we got. I think that was that might have concluded the show. What's this? Mayor of LA ups the ante on breaking federal law, vowing to hand taxpayer dollars to illegal aliens. We covered this on Friday, who won't leave home or work. Check this out. Check this out. I mean, these are people that are elected United States representatives that swore an oath to uphold the Constitution.
Because, you know, you have people who don't want to leave their homes, who are not going to work, and they are in need of cash. It's a couple $100. I don't know the exact amount, and this should be available in about a week.
Man, couple $100 of your taxpayer dollars going to illegal aliens that are evading law enforcement because they have violated our immigration laws. Do you guys not get it yet? This is insane what we are seeing. Just absolutely insane. But I want to thank everybody who donated. Once again, we are 100% viewer funded. If you guys would like to help us out, we would appreciate the blessing. We still got a few more bills from the beginning of the month that we're trying to get covered. You can donate to us, Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $Oreo Army. We also have a GiveSendGo down there on the bottom, givesendgo.com/Oreo 2024. I need to make a new one for 2025. That's how crazy things have been, and it's already July. And then also, if you do online or mobile banking, you can go to our website and you want to do a Zelle transfer. Our Zelle link is provided on our website. It's theoreoexpress.com. And on there, you scroll down, there'll be a donate now button. Click that. It'll have our donation links, including that Zelle link. And once again, we want to say thank you to everybody, whether you're just in here chatting, whether you like the stream, it's all appreciated. It all helps us out, helps us get the feed out. If you haven't hit that like button, please hit that like button. And we got a lot in store for you for show number 2, which will be approximately at 3 o'clock today. 3 o'clock Eastern, or 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern time. We got some updates on what Trump had said in the Oval Office today with his meeting. Also talking about some of the weapons that are supplied to Ukraine and who are paying for them now instead of you, the tax dollar. So just some epic stuff and a lot more, guys. Once again, thank you to all the mods out there. Thank you for everybody promoting the channel, everybody who shares this out. We cannot do it without you guys. So have a good afternoon. We'll see you in about 4 hours. God bless y'all.
You're still looking good. I'm still feeling good. You know, I've got all your MyPillow products. Mattress topper, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets. I'm interrupting this commercial to do something I've never done before. Get 2 MyPillows absolutely free on orders of $100 or more. I can't do this forever, so get on board with this great sale today. Our best-selling 6-piece bath towel sets or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Our famous standard MyPillows only $14.98. Queens $18.98. King size only $1 more. Body pillows $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase $9.98. Save $40 on our spring percale Giza Dream bed sheet sets. Any size, any color. So go to MyPillow.com or call that number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And when you spend $100 or more, get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free.
Well, hop aboard the Oreo Express, where truth don't hide and we don't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud, shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's for you. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll, let's go. take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land.